This has been our first year in operation at Mercy Hospital with the new practice of Mercy Cardiology. We're a 4-physician group. We are physicians that came from different practices in the community. And when Mercy announced that they wanted to have their own cardiology practice, I was very interested in this opportunity to be involved in that. Cardiology is such a core service line for hospitals. There's certainly plenty of patients who have cardiovascular disease that we take care of, but also in supporting and backing up the emergency department and Mercy's express care departments and the primary care practices. It's been very nice for them to have a cardiology service in-house that they can utilize. We've all been in practice for a while. We all bring different things to the practice. We all have different specialties within within cardiology, and it's been a really nice mix to have that balance of skill sets in one practice.
It was back in 1995 that I had my first experience in working with cardiologists. I needed to have a bypass surgery, and so I did have quadruple bypass. And in the intervening years, of course, it's important to monitor that condition and to make sure that I remain healthy. And for the past 10 years, I've felt privileged to be part of Dr. Brett's practice. He, in my eyes, is a very capable and confident physician. He cares a lot about his patients. He communicates well. And that all amplifies the concept at Mercy Hospital of compassionate care. And as a result of that kind of environment that exists and that trust and confidence that I have in the practice, I'm very happy to be part of it. I think in order for any physician to be effective, they have to be certainly capable. They have to certainly care. They certainly have to be able to communicate with their patients. And when that happens, you have not a good doctor, you have an excellent doctor. And I have an excellent doctor.
And it helps to have great patients. You know, Nelson, like a lot of our patients, has had a complex history of cardiac issues that need to be kept track of. And it's a team effort. It's not just the physician, it's the staff in the office, it's the technicians who do the echocardiograms and the electrocardiograms and the stress tests. All those people need to be as interested in doing good patient care as a physician to make it a positive experience for the patient.
I can sort of give you an example of how that all plays out. A year ago, I had a TIA, which is sort of a minor stroke, a mini kind of stroke. And it was the result of my heart having gone into atrial fibrillation, and it happened in New York. When I was taken to the hospital and sort of became more aware again of my surroundings, the cardiologist who was working with me proposed a course of action, and my immediate and first response was, before we do that, I'd like to have you call my cardiologist in Maine, Craig Brett, and confer with him, and I'd like to hear what he has to say. And I believe that happened, didn't it?
I really appreciate that you did that, and that led to some communication with the physicians that were taking care of Nelson in New York, and then the continuity of management when Nelson came back to me. And I think that ability to communicate and Nelson's trust in myself and in our practice to do a good job for him led to those communications that ultimately leads to a good outcome. The Mercy administration did a great job when they created this practice. They've been very supportive with the infrastructure that we need, from beautifully refurbished space up on the 5th floor of the State Street building to really the best echo equipment one can purchase in today's world. We have cath labs that are as good as any cath lab you can find in the United States. We really have the right equipment, and you need that just to kind of be in the game, to be a high quality practice, and then it's the things in addition to that that really make a difference. We do have those things.
I have a great deal of respect and a great deal of love for the Sisters of Mercy. They provided me with my elementary school education, the basic foundation upon which everything else that I've done has been built, and that foundation included not only the teaching of academic skills, but it also included moral and spiritual values. And as over the years, as I've grown into adulthood, I've had an opportunity to work with the sisters. It was sort of my way of paying back, if you will, the many things that they did for me. I served, for example, for 9 years on the Board of Overseers at St. Joseph's College and chaired that group for 3 of those years. And always and everywhere that I've seen the work of the sisters, I've seen this sense of carrying out the gospel imperatives of feeding the hungry, clothing the sick, healing the sick, sheltering the homeless. And always it's done with great love and great compassion. And you know, when I step into Mercy Hospital, and on a recent occasion when I went in for a heart procedure, that sense of really caring was very, very obvious. And I look too at the governance of Mercy Hospital, and one of the things that I think is the sisters have done to be sure that their mission is carried out in a strong fashion is created the position of Vice President for Mission Effectiveness. And that sets up a process whereby all programs and all activities are reviewed to make sure that they reflect the things that the Sisters of Mercy have stood for. So it is more than just a slick phrase when you talk about compassionate care at Mercy Hospital. It is a living experience that is very evident to anybody who's a patient there.
I see that every day. I think it's modeled from the top down, and I think again it attracts people who work at Mercy and who practice at Mercy who have those characteristics and who want to work in an environment like that.
I know that Dr. Brett knows what my conditions is and what my needs are, and I don't give that aspect of my care any thought at all, because I just know that when I go to see Dr. Brett because I have a problem, that it's going to be addressed.
You know, again, my job is so much easier when I have patients like Nelson who understand their condition and who ask the right questions, who are very invested in their own health and want to do the things that they need to do to maintain that level of health. And I wish all my patients were like Nelson. Unfortunately, they're not, and that's the challenge sometimes. We spent this year developing the infrastructure of a general cardiology practice, and that's worked really well. We have a growing, large practice that seems to be working very well. Coming up, we'd really like to develop our preventive cardiology programs to a higher level of structure. We are kicking off our lipid disorders clinic at Mercy Hospital, which is a structured program for the increasing number of patients who have cholesterol problems. And it's a multidisciplinary effort with a cardiologist. We have a diabetes physician, since a lot of these patients do have diabetes as well. We have a dietitian who's experienced in patients, in managing patients with cholesterol abnormalities. And it's a structured program to try to improve the lipid levels of these patients, since lipid levels are so strongly correlated with the development of heart disease. And the way that care right now is typically is often fragmented, and so this is an attempt to bring some structure to that process and give better care.